Great, so we're just going to start lying down on our backs, closing your eyes, and connecting with your breath. Beginning to make your breath a bit deeper and more expansive. You can play with the visualization of inhaling vitality into your whole body as you inhale. And then exhaling and totally surrendering to the moment. Inhale, charging the body with a sense of aliveness and vitality. And exhale, just totally surrendering. And just do this 3 more times at your own pace. Maybe even sighing or toning on your exhale to encourage that feeling of release. Good, and then we're just going to place one hand over the womb, one hand over the heart, and we're going to ground into a feeling of safety. So internally saying to yourself the word safety, breathing into your body the feeling of being safe, and just acknowledging that in this moment you are safe, you're in a safe space. We're just allowing the nervous system to really relax. So we're releasing any fight or flight responses in our body. Grounding ourselves in the nurturing feeling of being safe, being held. And this is going to relax the mind, the prefrontal cortex, and allow us to relax a little bit more into a trance state. And any state of arousal is actually a slight state of trance. So we're allowing the mind to relax and slow down so that we can enter into a trance of bliss, a trance of present moment awareness. Okay, and from here we're going to work with the tantric concept of spanda. So spanda in Sanskrit means a throb, a fundamental throb that is what allows life to perpetuate. So it's the contraction and expansion of the universe. And we're going to mimic this in our bodies, as well as connect to how this is also an expression of orgasm, a contraction and expansion of muscles as well as of energy. So we're going to hug all of our muscles in towards our bones, draw in towards your core, draw up through your pelvic floor, lift up into your yoni. Really hugging in tight. Feel like you're drawing into your essence, into your foundation. Feel the contraction of your energy, stimulating connection, strength, power, connection. And then exhale and just let everything release. Dropping into a feeling of unlimited expansion. Witnessing the innate spacious quality of existence. How most of existence is pure space. And then let's do this again. So we're going to hug the muscles in towards the bones, charge up your body, activate your strength, lift up through your yoni, activate your yang energy, your fire, your power. your active embodiment. And then take a sniff up to your third eye, and now let it release. Melting, surrendering, releasing into the moment. And just give yourself permission to let go of any conscious or unconscious structures of control, the need to control reality, and just taking a few breaths to explore a sense of fully trusting your life, fully trusting your body, fully trusting your place in existence. Just noticing how that lands for you. Maybe that's something you feel like you can really authentically relax into, or maybe some blockages are coming up for you, and just holding space for whatever is authentically arising. Okay, and then we're just going to speed this process up a little bit more. So we're going to build a little bit more fire, a little bit more yang. So we're going to draw into the bones, hugging all of your muscles inwards, lifting up through your yoni, charging your yang, feeling the fundamental contraction. Take a sniff up to your third eye, and then just let it release. Relaxing into that nurturing yin space of being. And then drawing back into your yang, activate your whole body. And if it's helpful, you could even imagine basically your whole body being your vagina, being your yoni. And then sniffing up to your third eye and totally relaxing. Basking in your spacious awareness of being. Good, one more time, hugging every muscle in your body in towards your essence, into the source of your being, the source of life within you. See if you can draw into a sense of the source of your own life. Sniff up to your third eye, and then surrender and release. Just noticing any shifts in your body, noticing your perception of your energetic system. Maybe connecting to a warmth or a fuzzy aliveness radiating in the body. Great, and then from here we're going to rub the hands together, just charging up some energy in the hands. Visualize breathing love and pleasure into your hands. And any other qualities and intentions that you want to bring into your practice today, breathe that energy, that intention between your hands. Good, and then just let your hands hover over your face and breathe beauty, breathe radiance, breathe this intention of aliveness into your face and into your brain. See if you can breathe pleasure into your brain. drinking in the breath with a sense of yearning. And allowing that feeling of yearning to actually be one that's enjoyable. And then just brushing your hands over your face. And just take a moment to really love up your face with a tender quality of awareness and touch. Just giving some thanks to your face, this beautiful aspect of our bodies that really allow us to connect with other humans, allow us to express ourselves out into the world with such detail. Our face really allows us to express nuances of connection. And then maybe just running your fingers through your hair, maybe digging your nails in slightly, allowing the whole of the head and the brain to be stimulated, but not mentally, not through thought, but through sensation and pleasure. So letting the energy that's present in the head drop into the present moment. And then we're going to just gently stroke the fingertips down the throat and the neck. Maybe imagine stroking a very soft cat, having that same quality of really enjoying the sensation of your skin, the sensation of connection, and then just brushing over your heart, just breathing into your heart. And you might feel like you want to do a little bit of energetic clearing, so you can use your fingertips to kind of feel like you're pulling anything off that's felt heavy or restrictive. And you might just want to play with doing that even if there's not anything obviously feeling restrictive in your heart right now. You might just want to give yourself a little bit of a sprucing up in your heart space, brushing off cobwebs. And then just welcoming in the visualization of your heart just being so radiant and full of love, full of life, full of gratitude and playfulness and joy. And then just circling around the breasts a few times. And just right now for me, like a really gentle, soft quality of touch is feeling good. But you may feel like a stronger grip might feel like it can really meet you more fully right now, or maybe even just energetically hovering the hands over your breasts might feel like a really beautiful, interesting experience for you right now. And I'm going to add the visualization of circulating vitality and pleasure around the breasts. Visualize breathing fully into your breasts and heart. Drinking sensation into the breasts and the nipples without any sense of needing to rush it or force it. Just meeting the moment with a sense of openness and playfulness. And then just using the palm of your hands to circle over your nipples. See if you can really drop your focus down into your nipples. Moving the hands at a pace that feels good. Maybe increasing the pace slightly to increase a sense of aliveness within the nipples. Good, and then we're just going to draw this energy down to our ovaries. So we're going to brush the hands down the central line of the body, the central feminine channel, the Ren meridian. Just stroking down the front of your body like you were a gorgeous pussycat. And then from here, we're just going to circle the hands over the ovaries. So we're going to create little circles here, warming up the ovaries, breathing, smiling, sending loving awareness down into your ovaries. Maybe even visualizing a luminosity beginning to build in the ovaries as you send more life force, more breath and connection into the ovaries. The ovaries are one of the main contributors to our female hormonal system. So just bringing a feeling and an intention of balance and harmony radiating in your ovaries. Just welcoming in a feeling of our hormones, feeling balanced. Good, and then just letting your fingertips rest over your ovaries. Seeing if you can cultivate a little bit more energy into your ovaries. And maybe, if possible, playing with that energy being pleasurable, orgasmic, blissful. And tapping into our creative essence. So it's understood in Taoism that our ovaries house our fundamental Jing, our fundamental creative essence that not only can create new life, new humans, but also is the energy that contributes to our ability to really co-create with existence, whatever it is that we're desiring. Good. And then from here, resting your hands over your womb and your yoni. If it feels comfortable, you can bring the hands a little bit lower so it's resting directly over your mons and your clitoris. And just beginning to guide the breath down into the yoni. And just being present to whatever you're experiencing right now, noticing if you've been having any judgments or expectations about how you should be experiencing your body right now, and just seeing if you can release the charge around that and come back to really connecting with as much compassion as possible. And one of my teachers also likes to point out that you can break up the word compassion into come and passion. So if that feels like a fun edge to explore, you can feel how compassion can also alchemize itself into come and passion. Finding the juiciness of really authentic self-love. Okay, then we're just going to release the hands away. And I'm going to step the feet flat on the mat, about hip distance apart, just letting the knees bend up to the sky. And we'll do a few of our pelvic tilt exercises here. So we're going to exhale Engage your yoni, lift up through your pelvic floor and roll your pelvis up towards the sky. Squeezing your egg, and then exhale, relaxing down. Inhale, drawing up through your yoni, lifting up through your pelvis. And exhale, releasing down. Keep going. Inhale, activating your yoni, activating your muscles, and then exhale, relaxing down. Inhale, activating the sensation, and exhale, releasing. And then just continuing at your own pace. And I just want to talk a little bit to the power of neuroplasticity. So even when we first start doing these exercises, they might not really feel pleasurable. They just kind of feel like something. If we keep on opening ourselves and breathing the possibility of these experiences, cultivating pleasure, it will actually over time help to rewire the brain to the possibility of more pleasure. So let's do this a few more times, and this time as we inhale, draw up through the yoni, then feel like you're breathing all the way up to your brain, to your third eye. And then exhale, relax down. Inhale, activate your yoni and draw that energy up to your brain. Exhale, release. We'll do 3 more. Inhale, activating. Exhale. 1 more. Good. And then we're just going to do a few pulses here. So we're going to draw up through the pelvic floor, lift the pelvis up just slightly, and then we're just going to play with pulsing. Just breathe naturally. I'm just going to play with pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Keep going a few more times. And then just relax down. Couple more breaths here. Just allowing the energy, the sensation we've cultivated to be integrated into your present moment awareness, integrated into your body. Good, and then we're going to this time squeeze the legs together. Hopefully this gives a little bit more of a pleasure contraction, squeezing the legs together, drawing up through the pelvic floor, and then just playing with pulsing the pelvic floor, pulsing the muscles around the yoni, moving at your own pace. And you can even play with a pulse that kind of has an increase in pace. Maybe even to the point where it feels like you're kind of just shaking your pelvis. Shaking. And then we're going to release. And then we're going to relax the knees out to this side. Bring the soles of your feet together. And then allow a feeling of blossoming and releasing open through your yoni. So we did quite a lot of strength building, yang building, and now we want to make sure that we're still allowing the muscles to totally relax, so we don't entrain so much strength that we start to have sort of chronic tension. We want to find that balance between the yang energy and the yin. Good. We're going to do this again, and this time we're going to use it just to do a little bit of an energetic cleansing. So as we build energy through the contraction, I want you to feel like you're kind of just like cleansing, clearing, washing your yoni, washing the energy through your sexual system. So we're just kind of like cleansing, clearing, washing. I don't want to say scrubbing, that feels like too intense, but kind of like vigorously moving the energy to shake up anything that feels stuck or stagnant there. And then we're going to relax into our yin, and we're going to actually tone a few times to increase this feeling of really cleansing and clearing anything that we may have been holding onto within our yonis. So I'm going to bring the legs together, squeeze the legs together, draw up through the pelvis, draw up through your yoni, and again playing with that pulsing, that spanda, and maybe even building that spanda up into a kind of shaking. Try and let this feel a little bit cathartic, so it's becoming less and less of like a rigid control and more into a kind of full shaking, washing, activating, cleansing, stirring up the energy, stirring up your life force. And then just completely releasing down, relaxing the legs out wide, and just explore the sound of kind of just like groaning a little bit. And don't worry if this feels like, it's okay if it feels kind of like ugly or gross, just cleansing and clearing. One more. And seeing if you can arrive at an experience of just being totally empty. And then from here, we're just going to roll the head a few times side to side. Just a little bit of a grounding, integrative moment, grounding into your body. Great, and then bring the head back to center. Draw the legs together and just hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug. And we're going to rock side to side here and just massage out the back a little bit. Good. And then we're going to work one more practice here on our back. So I'm going to place the feet back down on the mat, knees bending up to the sky. I'm going to do a little bit more of a rapid breath exercise, and then we're going to come into another energy clearing cathartic practice, which is basically to tap the back of the hips on the floor. So hopefully you have like a yoga mat or something soft. Could try with a pillow if it isn't too thick, but you really want to be able to vigorously relax the hips down, so we're kind of tapping out the back of the pelvis and encouraging even more release. Good. So from here, we're going to inhale through the nose, engage your pelvic floor, lift your pelvis up just slightly, and then exhale through the mouth. Inhale, draw up through the pelvic floor, exhale through the mouth, and keep going. Nice vigorous breath. pick up the pace a little bit here. Take a deep breath in, hold the inhale, and then when you're ready, let that release. Take another deep breath in. And now with your exhale, free to tone and begin to tap the back of the hips on the floor. And we'll do one more breath. Deep inhale. And exhale. And then just fully relaxing, maybe straightening the legs flat on the floor. Good, we're going to step the feet flat on the floor. And the second part of this practice is to try doing something quite similar in the heart space. So we're bringing that kind of spunda, that throbbing experience of contracting and releasing around the heart, to explore the potential of even having a heartgasm or having some kind of pleasurable release of sensation from the heart. So what we're going to do is make our robot arms. So we just want to point the fingertips up towards the sky. And then we're going to press down through the back of the triceps until it lifts the heart, the chest up off the floor. It doesn't have to be much, but you want to feel that sense of being lifted and expanded open through the heart. And then just relax the back fully into the floor. And then we're going to do this with the breath. So we're going to inhale, press down through the arms to lift the chest up. And then exhale, totally relax down. So inhale through the nose, lift the heart, and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, expand the heart, exhale through the mouth. And then just keep going. And then we're going to build the pace a little bit. Take a deep breath in and hold at the top of the inhale. And then exhale, completely release and take up more of a star-shaped fish. So spreading the arms and legs as wide as you can. And see if you can have a sense of the energy of your heart expanding out to your fingertips and your toes, filling your whole body with radiant love. Radiant connection. Enjoying that feeling of taking up space. being completely uninhibited to expand and express a sense of your aliveness in this moment. Good, and then we're just going to bend the knees and roll them to one side. Again, just taking a moment to ground into your body, really focusing on the physical aspect of your being. Feeling into the solid support of the ground beneath you. And then when you feel ready, we're going to come up to sitting. Good, I'm going to do a few practices to connect with that diamond shape of the pelvic floor. So you might even want to use your hands to make the diamond shape. And just kind of like take a moment to really feel into your two sit bones, your tailbone and your anus, the back of the diamond, and your pubic bone and your clitoris, the front of the diamond. And just taking a few breaths now to feel into that diamond shape. Good, and then with your inhale, play with actually squeezing the muscles between your sit bones towards each other and lifting up through your yoni. So we're going to inhale, squeeze the sit bones towards each other and lift up. And then exhale, relax. Inhale, squeezing the sit bones towards each other, lifting up. And relax. One more time. Good. And now I'm going to try with front and back, which is a little bit more of an abstract experience, but we're going to play with the feeling of drawing the front of the pelvic floor and the back of the pelvic floor, the clitoris and the tailbone towards each other. Inhale, drawing the energy up. And then exhale, release. Inhale, drawing up. And release. One more time. Good. And then have a sense of grounding these 4 points into the earth. So it's almost like you're plugging your charge into the earth, grounding through your sit bones, grounding down through your tailbone, the front of your pubic bone and your clitoris. And then visualize energy spiraling between these 4 points, drawing up telluric energy, earth energy. So now we've opened this sort of portal of our creative awareness and energy. And I feel like we're stirring up the nurturing life force of the earth in the pelvic floor and beginning to drink that into the body. And maybe using the hands to create a stirring movement might be helpful, or maybe it feels distracting.
Whatever feels best, stirring energy up in the pelvic floor, stirring up our primordial, our primal energy. And then we're going to come back to those two circular muscles, the one that goes around the anus and the one that goes around the vagina and the clitoris. I'm going to play with beginning to circle energy around the clitoris and the vagina and then around the anus. So we're passing the energy through the perineum as we circle around the back and around the front. Just exploring that. And then just playing with spiraling the energy in the perineum. We're just visualizing creating tiny circles of your energy in your perineum. So we're sort of centering the pelvic floor. Good, and then from here we're going to have a sense of taking that charge from the perineum, inhaling up to the middle of your brain, your third eye. And then keep the energy there, but come back to a natural breath. And just imagine energy, arousal stirring in the center of your brain, in your third eye, in your pineal gland. And then from here, we're going to visualize the energy shooting out of the crown of the head, blossoming open and surrounding us, connecting to a telluric energy field shape. So we're going to visualize inhaling arousal from the pelvic floor up out through the crown of the head, and then visualizing that arousal, that charge, that vitality surrounding us. Inhaling, drawing up from the earth and from our own cycling energy. Exhale, have a sense of bliss, euphoria surrounding you and emerging you. And then just keep going. You can go at your own pace. Inhaling, drawing bliss up the body. Exhale, let it surround you. And do one more. And then just seeing if as you sit in stillness and present moment awareness, you can have a sense of this telluric energy field still cycling and cultivating energy for you. Great, and then we're going to come into our pillow practice. So you're going to have your pillow, you place it down in front of you, and you're going to come onto the hands and the knees. And so now we're going to play, we're really charging up our own yang, our own inner healthy masculine energy by really playing with the idea of the tip of our clitoris being like a little penis. So we're going to just play with gently pressing the pelvis forwards, pressing down into the pillow, connecting the clitoris to the pillow, and then drawing back. So it's going to do this a few times. And you're going to connect to the energetic feeling of really confidently penetrating life. So really cultivating your courage, your confidence, and this sense of being in your fuck yes. And then let's even play with, you can internally or externally do this. We're going to play with the mantra of fuck yes. And you can go at your own pace, but as you really activate your yang energy, you're going to also play with the affirmation fuck yes, fuck yes. So yeah, you can say it internally or you can say it out loud, you can shout it if that feels great. Just really beginning to play with that feeling of releasing any shame around really being a strong, empowered force in the world. And really using the exhale to increase the power in the thrusting motion. Good, and then we're just going to totally relax in the child's pose. And just resting your head on the floor and just noticing how you feel, what that experience was like for you. And then I'm just going to show you a little bit of a practice that you can explore this week, which is kind of like the similar idea, but you're going to be more like just resting down on the pillow, and you're basically kind of going to like fuck the pillow, but as an exercise of just kind of exploring that masculine energy and not being afraid of being in your like thrusting energy. And so doing that for like a 3-minute window of basically just pumping on the pillow and just exploring that as an experience of embodiment for you. Great. So that was our little drop into having a mini penis, and then we're going to come up to sitting. And we're going to roll the shoulders back a few times. And then we're going to do just one more practice today, which is the tug of love one. And you can do this in various positions. So you might like to do it kind of like this, with the feet flat on the floor, one hand kind of supporting you that way. You can do it lying down. I find that a little bit more awkward. Or the other way that can be quite effective is to be in like a yogic squat in Malasana. That way is a little bit more challenging because you've got a little bit more of a spread of the legs. So you're going to have a little less, you're just going to be a little bit more spread, so that the contracting of the muscles to hold the egg in, it's going to be a bit more challenging. So you can play around with what feels good right now. I'm going to sit down like this, and then basically you're going to take your hand around the string, and you may like to place the other hand just around the opening of your yoni, just to catch the egg if it comes out. And then basically what we're going to do is just begin to gently pull the string, not too much at all, and then you're going to let the muscles of your yoni pull back on that. So we're going to try and draw the egg back up inside the yoni as you just gently tug on the string. And then we're just going to relax off. Just notice how that feels, and if the egg did come out or is starting to come out, feel free just to adjust it slightly. And then we're going to do that again. So we're going to pull on the egg as we gently pull on the string, building that strength. Just holding that for one more breath. And then just totally relax. And let's do that again. So we're going to tug on the egg as we tug on the string. Pull, pull, pull. Feel that strength, feel that lift, feel that challenge as a playful invitation. And then we're just going to relax. Good, and then we're just going to do a similar thing but more of a pulsing structure to the practice. So we're just going to pull and relax, 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 pull and relax. Let's do it one more time. Pull and relax. Yeah, and just relaxing for a moment. Notice how that feels. And then we're just going to try one different rhythm, if you like. So we're continuing to train the muscles to be able to be dynamic in their strength. So happy with rapid contractions, happy with slow contractions, and all the spectrum in between. So this time it's going to be a pull, 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 and relax. And we're going to pull, 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 and relax. And pull, 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 and relax. And then pull, 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 and relax. Let's do this 2 more times. Pull, 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 and relax. And then pull, 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 and relax. Great. And then if it would feel good to you right now, you could really slowly just pull the egg out and just explore that feeling as a sort of a sensual experience, a nice soothing sensual experience to pull the egg out. If you want to, or you can keep it in. Great. And I'm just going to take a moment, just in a seated position, just to feel into all of the energy that we've cultivated through our practice. And then just taking a few breaths to visualize drinking that energy, that vitality into your cells and your tissues for healing and restoration, for deep rejuvenation. Great, and then just bring your hands to your heart, grounding into your body.